Okay, folks, we're back, and I had an idea in between videos that I think will work out kind of cool. We're sitting here playing around with flat color. I just don't think that's going to make this work. So I'm going to come over here, and not on the mask, but on the actual color layer. I'm going to make this a gradient. And I picked black and that kind of brown, and let's see how that works. And I need a nice smooth transition of color. I want it dark on the bottom, but I definitely want it to kind of get lighter on top. And now we have that kind of old vignette kind of look. And then I'm going to paint in a little bit more of it, just on the edges, just like this. And I kind of hate it. So I'm going to go for plan B, right? And plan B is down and dirty Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer. I'm going to make 2 layers. First, I'm going to hijack the dog, okay? And I'm going to come over here to our clone stamp tool. And I'm going to say sample all layers. And what I want to do is just basically extend. I want a nice big brush. Bigger than that. I want it to be soft. And I literally am just going to go ahead and just do this. And I'm not proud of this, but this is a background and I'm not going to see it. So I don't care. And here's the thing. I know that sometimes, people become sticklers for this sort of stuff. But if no one's going to see it, then again, who cares? So I'm going to put a mask on there. I'm going to make it a nice soft kind of edge. And I'm just going to do this blend. And that kind of looks bad. So that's all right, though. Here on layer 1, I just got to go ahead and I got to just put a little bit more in. Okay. Now, come back here, paint this mask in. Would I do this on a focal point? No. Well, not entirely anyway. Because I'm about to do it kind of on Jack the Dog. I'm going to make a new layer. All right. Clone stamp. I'm going to select Jack the Dog's body here. I'm going to just try to go ahead and make what would be the rest of a dog body. And again, I don't need it to be perfect. I don't care if it's not perfect. In fact, it just not going to bother me in the least bit if it's not. I'm just trying to get a sense of a body down here. This is one of those reasons, though, for sure, why you use your own photography over stock. Because again, if this was my dog, I would just go ahead and take another picture of it. That's all. And another picture of it where I'm just saying, you want to go for a walk? And they pop their head up like that. And I can make this work. I'm just trying to get some sort of body down here. I feel like I'm making like a bad David Hockney painting. And again, I'm doing this because no one's going to see it. Trust me on this one. It's going to be just kind of this blob in a few minutes. Same with that background. No one's going to know it's even there. Because we're gonna put that mask in front of it. I just needed like more of this dog's body, and I just unfortunately didn't have it. I'm gonna go to filter and blur. I'm gonna use Gaussian. Okay. Like this. I'm gonna take probably my blur tool, which is this right here. It's just a brush. Kind of blur and smudge this stuff together in a way. And just to get rid of that line, I'm going to take the Jack the Dog layer. I totally thought this was going to be an easy one too. It wasn't. Take the Jack the Dog layer, I'm going to put a mask on it. And just like the other ones, I just want to blend this together. I need it to be black. I really just didn't want that line to be there, so that's great. There. Try this one more time. There. Okay, now, again, we're going to put this on here, right? But I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to play around with the idea of opacity. See that? Okay. And I'm going to throw away this mask really quick and delete it. Okay. I'm going to put it back on. Stick with a flat color though. Put it back on. And now let's try this. And try the brown. The brown definitely doesn't work. I think the brown could work. It's just not dark enough. I wonder if we just have like a chocolate kind of brown. Could that work? Now, so we have a color. We've got it masked. I'm going to try a mask of a mask. What's that, you say? Well, it's this thing here called a vector mask. And it's got a density to it, which essentially is just a strength. And I could also feather it. And it's not doing much of anything at the moment. What if I feather our regular mask, or play with the density of our regular mask? 6 and 1/2 does another. I don't think that's really working. Let's come back to this one. And let's try to... Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. Nah, vector mask is not working. I'm kind of glad that you're seeing this, because this is Photoshop. This is the real deal, right? What I'm doing right now, trying to find that happy medium. And I think what I'm going to do to find that happy medium is I'm going to make 2 of these things. The first one, I'm going to bring down to like 85, 90%. And what you're going to see is you're going to see that. And we don't want that. The second one, I'm going to bring down too. But when I put the 2 of them on top of one another, you don't see that cruddy stuff down there. It's hidden. Right? And that's what we want. We don't see that bad stuff. It's all of it's hidden. This is where the good stuff starts. So that bad stuff, we're just not going to know is there, because our masks are hiding it. And I think I'm going to remask it one more time just so it's a little taller. Let's try this one more time. Right about there. Maybe a little above it. Right about somewhere in between. Right about there. Right about there. Definitely not at an angle. Want to go straight up and down with it. That looks good. Command J. The first one, let's make that, what did I say before, 90%, right? This other one, it doesn't even need to be 90. It could be like half of that. Okay, maybe not half of 90. Maybe like 70, 75. And check it out. You know there's something back there, but you don't see it. And that's awesome. And it's totally, completely hidden at the moment. The only thing that I think I do see is that there's that little gap right there of Jack and the dog. And so I think what I want to do is I just want to go ahead and I just want to pull them both down. So that's flush. I think ultimately that's going to work out. And here we are. So we have ourselves a kind of like a nice opacity shift. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, I want to try this one more time with the really big brush, small opacity, like 20%, and almost try to do like a little vignette around our dog here. And if you see my mask, this is what I'm doing. Oops. I'm just kind of trying to build this extra kind of piece here to frame him a little bit more, that's all. And I think it's kind of working out. All right, so let's save. Now, all right, I've got, Jack made here, which is cool. We got the poster all together, liking it. And I think I need to go ahead and work on titles. My titles are going to be pretty, I don't know, classic. This is an old kind of family movie, and I think I want to kind of keep it that way. So I'm going to start out with some typing. I'm going to do, I think, it all here. So homeward. I'm going to open up my character palette. And DDC Hardware is probably not a good font choice for this, nor is the color white. I don't know why, but in my mind, I want like a gold. Okay. And as far as a font choice goes, let me think here. Trajan Pro. Trajan Pro is a font that Hollywood loves. And this is it in bold, and this is it in regular. I think I'm going to go with bold, homeward. And I'm going to make a second copy of it directly below it. And I did that by selecting it, holding down the Option key, clicking and dragging it with the Shift key. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write out bound. Now, what I want to do when I'm working with text here is this. I want to play around, and we did logos and we've talked about text, so this is not anything new. I want to create a little contrast, so I'm going to make bound regular. I actually kind of like Homeward maybe in regular too. Yeah, I'm going to keep them the same. So Homeward, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to highlight, double click and highlight, and I'm going to play with my tracking. Okay. If you don't recall, tracking is when we go ahead and we do a global change. And what we're trying to do here essentially is we're just trying to make some nice space between our letters. Okay. Now, I look at like the R and the D and I feel like that's a decent amount of space. I look at the H and the O and I'm like, whoa, a little too much. So I'm going to click in between the two of them, and now I'm going to hold the Option key and I'm going to kick the left key or the left arrow, and that's just going to do a little kerning. Kerning is when we do this on a local level. Make these things a little closer to one another. The thing is that the reason why we have to kern is because a type designer didn't think about every single combination of letters together. That's all. So we have Homeward, right? Cool. Now, we need bound. Now, there's a couple ways we can do this. What we want bound to do is a few things. It can literally sit below Homeward and stay centered like that. That can work. All right. And if we're going to do it this way, it would not be a bad idea to go to our paragraph panel and go ahead and click on center, all right, to both of them, because this way we can essentially, kind of grow it from the center if we need to. So grab the two of them, center it with the align here, and then watch, if I highlight bound and I do the option arrows out, see how it goes ahead and it grows it outwards? That is tracking at its finest. I think that's a little much, but I think we do need to be out a little bit. There's sometimes rules in typography that you need to have everything line up in like a box, and that's okay. I don't agree with that rule completely. So I like that Homeward bound like that. That's kind of cool. And let's see here. I feel like it just needs a little something. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down here to my shapes, and I'm going to grab the rectangle tool. And I'm just going to make a little rectangle. Nothing big. Just kind of like that. And it's got this big stroke on it. I don't need a stroke on it. I do want a fill on it though. And I want that same color right there. So I'm going to say okay. And check it out. I've gone ahead and given myself a nice kind of fill. And that just kind of puts that little separation in there. That little line just does a lot for us, right? It's not much, but it's enough that it does a little something for us. And I can select it. That's just a rectangle layer. I can make it bigger, or I can make it smaller. I think it needs to be a little smaller so it's like a thin line. Yeah, I'll apply that transformation. And again, gonna grab all three of these things, center them upon one another, and then maybe play around with just a little spacing here, Homeward, and then bound below it. That totally's got a Ron Howard feel to it right there, right? Now, the cool thing about playing around with text here in Photoshop, and even like that rectangle I just made, those are vectors, which means I can make them bigger, and I don't have to worry about the whole pixel thing. They're vectors until I do what's called rasterizing them, which means I turn them into pixels. I'm not ready to do that yet. I could play around for sure with things like texture and all that kind of fun stuff, and I very well might. But I kind of am digging what I have going on right now. So I'm going to go ahead and group these things together. So highlight them, do a Command G, and I'm going to call this title, treatment. And the original Homeward Bound was called Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. Um, and I could call it that if I want to, or I could just literally leave it as Homeward Bound and just not worry about the incredible journey or anything like that. I'm going to highlight the 2 layers title treatment in that flat color copy. That flat color is just a full color layer. So I'm going to go ahead and align the horizontal centers, and that's going to just align my title treatment there. Homeward Bound. The more I look at it, the more I don't like that line like that. I kind of want it smaller. And so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Grab the 3 of them, center them again. I think that's way better. Yeah. I'm digging that. I'm digging the whole kind of thing that we have going on here, right? And I know I just mentioned I don't necessarily need it to say the incredible journey, because I don't. But at the same time, I wonder if it should. But I wonder if it should say it down here. The incredible. I think I just spelled that wrong. The incredible journey. Kind of dig that. The incredible journey is not really part of the title treatment, so I'm going to take it out of there. I'm literally just going to drag it out of the into the layer palette. And I'm going to use this flat color copy again to center it, which it already was. So and yeah, I think that's pretty good. I kind of like that. Now, let's go back to this title treatment though. And let's take a quick look. What I want to do is I want to put a little bit of layer styles on here. Now, I'm doing this on purpose. We know we can do layer styles to layers. I can do them to groups too. I just want to put a little bevel on here. Nothing much. But you see when I did that, man, it just makes it like take it up a notch. That's a lot. I don't need that much. So I'm going to pull back quite a bit. And it doesn't need to be super soft. And it doesn't need that much depth. And I don't even think it needs that gloss contour. Yeah, that's a little bit more what I was kind of going for in my mind. I think I'm going to bring the opacity down of the darks, because I don't want them to be black. I wonder if I pop this on the bottom. It makes the darks go on the bottom there. I think that works out better. It looks like I'm shining a light from the top. If I bring this little ball down here, it's like I'm shining a light up from the bottom. Both are cool techniques. It's just finding the one you want. Ooh, I think that's the one I want. Now, here's something else I'm kind of curious about. Bound and Homeward. I was kind of in between Trajan Pro and Trajan Bold. What do they look like if I bold them? Oh my god, not good. Totally made the right call before. Back to regular. There we go. If you wonder who uses Trajan Pro, just look at a bunch of Hollywood posters. Check out those Imp Awards, and I think you'll find them there. And I don't think the Incredible Journey needs it. Do we want the Incredible Journey up top? Definitely not. It worked way better down here. And then what we have on the bottom is we have a space here for what we call our billing, if we're going to have that. I don't know if I want that in this poster, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure if I want that. Instead, I think I want this to just kind of have a, maybe like a, in theaters. I can do something like in theaters. Like that. In theaters, July 4th, 2018. That could work, right? Or instead of in theaters, check this out. What if I did this? Coming home, July 4th, 2018. See, the thing is that people understand what that means. They understand that, when they're looking at a movie poster, that means that's happening, right? And it's okay to make kind of like play off words like that. In fact, it's recommended. It's definitely something that you want to be aware of. Now, I've been playing around with Trajan here a lot, which, good font, like it for sure. But I got a feeling that for this coming home, I don't know, I might want to try something else. I might want to try something like an Avenir. Maybe like an Avenir Black. Black might not work. Light, on the other hand, might seem very, that's what I was kind of hoping for. Very, what's the word I want? Not soothing, sophisticated. July 4th. Now check this out. The TH in the 4th. I'm going to go ahead and I want it to be superscript. So it's going to kind of get a little smaller and jump. Or I could highlight it, and instead of that, I could say I want it to be subscript. Which could work, but I don't know. I feel like this works a lot better. The more I look at this, the more I like it. Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, coming home July 4th, 2018. I wonder, though, should I do one last thing? Should I introduce Jack to everyone? I said I wanted a character poster, right? Jack is the character. And there would be, like in my movie, in my mind, there would be two other characters. Let's say another old dog named Duke. And how about a fluffy little cat called Snowball? How about that? And I have no idea. I don't remember the real characters' names in that movie. But I feel like, if we're going to go ahead and make this a true character poster, that's something that we could totally do. And again, how do I know to do that? I've just seen them, there's all sorts of different, ways to do this, and I've just kind of seen it happen. right now my file saving. It's taken a little while to save, which makes me think that I may have a small problem. Nope, not yet. Okay. I kind of want a problem to happen. And I'll just explain it now. When you get over 2 gigabytes, you can't save your file the same way anymore. You have to go to File and Save As. Yeah, my thing's saving right now, so I can't do anything. But when I can, I'll come back to that so you can see what you need to do. I think what I'm going to do is end the video right now, and we're going to do another one where I teach you how to use this place called Brands of the World. And then we'll come back and put the finishing touches on this movie poster. Okay? Thank you.